Ready Player One is Steven Spielberg's return to like the kind of epic spectacle action film for all the audiences, to enjoy that. And it is an excellent movie. Like, it really delivers on the spectacle, and I had a lot of fun with it.
People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
Yeah. It's the only place that feels like I mean anything.
So Ready Player One is based off a book on the same name, and I haven't read it, but I know bits about it, and I've heard that they changed a lot of things. I mean, you have to adapt stuff from going to a book to a movie. And some things I heard that from the adaptation, like, I think the adaptation works. So it mainly stars Ty Sheridan as Parzival or Wade, a poor orphan that lives with his aunt and her douchebag boyfriend. And to get away from this world where they live in like these like high-rise trailer parks, like, he goes into this world, the Oasis. And it's like a futuristic version of our virtual reality. And like this world that was created by Halliday, played by Mark Rylance. And he plays kind of like an autistic character. And sometimes I liked him, and other times he felt kind of annoying. But basically, when he died, he sets a challenge up in the world of the Oasis of like puzzles. And it seems like he's kind of trying to make himself a god. So like all the poor people can research his entire life and try to figure out the clues and know everything all the pop culture that he loved. And like, if you actually look about some of the stuff that's going on with it, it's a little bit questionable. Like, that's kind of rubs me the wrong way when you actually think about it. But, that's whatever. Like, when you're in the movie, you don't really think much about it. And that's pretty much everything about this movie. While I was watching it, I just loved it. I was absorbed in the movie, and I wasn't questioning things. But the kind of movie when it's done, you're like, oh, there's a lot of weird stuff about that. Like, this big thing is that, like, the person that gets the 3 keys will get trillions of dollars and will own the Oasis and do whatever they want with it. And it's like there's this thing because this one evil company that kind of makes peripherals for the Oasis, they want to control it and put in a bunch of ads throughout the Oasis. And it's like, ooh, the evil ad guy. And it's coming from, like, I am a gamer. And I like things that I hate now are a lot of the loot boxes that are now appearing. And a lot of the pay-to-win schemes in a lot of games. Like, it's not just cosmetic rewards you have to pay for, but it affects the gameplay. And I have a big problem with the Oasis in this world because it is entirely pay to win. Like, because first you have the actual hardware. Like, at one point, like, the douchebag boyfriend to his aunt, he gets mad at him because he borrowed his aunt's good gloves. So he was using the crappy gloves, and he had spent all their money on boosts for this one raid that he was doing. So right there, first if you have the peripherals, the better peripherals, you are able to play better in the game. And then you pay for boosts inside the game. It sounds a lot like loot boxes, and that bothered me after the fact. I was like they acted like the Oasis was such a great thing, but in reality, it's a pay-to-win game, and there's really not that much game. It's really just like a Second Life virtual world, like MMO world. But like, if you die, you lose all your items, all your experience, and like all your coins. So you have to. That's why like the company can just keep putting money into it to give them more experience and stuff, so that like a lot of people have stopped trying to hunt for the clues because it costs so much money. Like, afterward, I just kept thinking, where are the actual games? Like the only games like they have things you can go dance and you can have virtual sex, or you can have like virtual hangouts, and they have like one raid thing. But other than that raid they show, the only actual game are the challenges that Halliday has put out for them. Like, I find that odd. Like, there's no one actually making any games anymore, any stories, any actual, like, games other than just virtual experiences. And, it's just, like, it didn't bother me all while I was watching it, but it bothered me a lot afterwards. But as for the actual movie, when watching the trailers, I wasn't sure if I would like the visuals in the Oasis. But while I was in the movie, I really loved them. Like, it has, like, almost like a slightly cartoony, so everything is kind of treated a little differently. So it was not in that uncanny valley. Like, a lot of the characters are, like, slightly almost, like, anime-fied. Like, they're not, like, so real that it messes with your brain a little bit when you watch them. And it's really a beautiful world that they made in this. And the characters are cool, he has his, like, best friend in the Oasis is H. And there's just stuff with that is like, because the person's voice is kind of modulated, and it's like supposed to be a big twist, and like, yeah, I kind of knew what you're doing, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. And the other main character is Olivia Cooke as Artemis, or Samantha, and that's the love interest for Wade. And I think that they kind of had to Hollywoodify the story, because Ty Sheridan and Olivia Cooke, they're both beautiful. There's no way around it. They're both beautiful people. And they don't do anything to make Ty Sheridan look goofy other than being poor. But like for Olivia Cooke, they gave her a really kind of pretty birthmark that like ran around her eye, like it's like a port wine stain. But I mean, the way they did it was so pale and so like it was pretty, like almost like enhanced her beauty. And it's like, I think in the book that they're both pudgy, they're both kind of fat, but it's whatever. And but I think that once they can go in that I kind of like their relationship, but at a certain point, like they're on like their first kind of date, and I mean like, I love you, and it's like, oh, I don't know about that. That's a little quick. Like it seems like it was rushed. And other times, the pacing is a little slow. Like, that's the one thing, pacing is probably the weakest thing about the movie. Like, other times it feels like they're rushing everything. Other times it's like, it feels slow. But, definitely my favorite part of the movie is at a certain point, actually in none of the trailers, but at a certain point, one of the clues, or one of the puzzles, is inside the world of The Shining. And that is like such a weird experience, like seeing, that's one of my favorite movies, but seeing all those like settings in this different kind of world was really cool. I liked it a lot. I couldn't help but wonder, like, you spend most of the time in the movie in the Oasis. And I couldn't help but wonder, like, what is going on in the outside world. Because what is the government doing about these evil corporations trying to take over the world and, like, killing people and doing terrorist attacks? And then there's, like, related to the terrorist attack from the company. Like, this is a spoiler, but it doesn't really matter. But at one point, like, when he's actually fighting the main villain, the boss of the corporation, is like, you killed my mother's sister. I was like, what? It's such an awkward moment. Like, it feels so weird. Like, it feels like it's like, oh, okay, why not just say aunt? Like, this is odd. But, at the same time, like, this is the kind of movie that you should, watch on the biggest screen you can find. Like, it is a cinematic experience that I really enjoyed. But it's just that I have a feeling that a lot of people, especially if you think about it, you'll find a lot of annoying things within the movie. But at the same time, there are a lot of great moments in it, and I would like to see it again. Like, because it's so many crazy moments that it is a really cinematic, enjoyable experience. You'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. I would recommend it, but not like crazy highly. Well, I guess, if you're going to see it, you should really see it in the theater. The thing is really cool on the big screen. But thanks for watching, and you can check out my other video playlist on my head, or subscribe to me over here. Thanks.